In order to factorize trinomials, we first understand the definition of trinomial. If you remember in the beginning, when we started, I had defined trinomials. What is a trinomial? An algebraic expression containing three terms. Is called a trinomial. Okay, so any algebraic expression which contains three terms is called a trinomial. Now, can all the trinomials be factorized with the help of this? Not necessarily that all the trinomials you will be able to factorize with the help of this method. But certain special types of trinomials can be factorized with the help of this. Okay. So we first understand example. The case that the kind of trinomials that we are going to discuss here are special types of trinomials in which we have descending powers of x or y. Let us consider this: 3x squared minus 5xy minus 12y squared. Consider this. This is a trinomial because it contains three algebraic terms. Okay, this is the first term, this is the second term, and this is the third term. Okay, so three terms it contains. Now my question is, can I factorize this expression by this technique? Before that, you will have to see whether the powers of x are descending or not. See that this, if you see, the power of x here is 2. The power of x here is 1. And obviously, you can rewrite it in this manner. 12. Now here you don't have any x here, right? But obviously, you know that you can write y square into x to the power of 0, isn't it? You can write it this way because x to the power of 0 is 1. So what you see here is you have the power of x as 2, you have the power of x as 1, and here you have the power of x as 0. So from 2 it goes to 1, and from 1 it goes to 0. So this is descending powers of x. Right? So from 2 it's going to 1, and then it's going to 0. Otherwise, you can also see it this way, that 3x squared minus 5xy minus 12y square can also be written as descending powers of y. How can this be written as descending powers of y? You can write minus 12y square first, minus 5xy you write as it is, and plus 3x square you write here. Now you can write this as minus 12y square minus 5xy plus 3x square, and you can write add a y to the power of 0 here. Now you see that the power of y here is 2, the power of y here is 1, and the power of y here is 0. So from 2 it goes to 1, and then it goes to 0. Therefore, this is also descending power of y. So either you can write it as descending powers of x or descending powers of y. So whenever you have descending powers of x or descending powers of y, such an expression can be factorized by the following method. Such a method is also called middle term factorization. Middle term factorization. Which we also call factorization of trinomials. Okay, so whether I say factorization of trinomials or middle term factorization, it is the same thing. Okay. So now let's see how to factorize by middle term factorization. Let's consider this expression that I have taken here: 3x squared minus 5xy minus 12y squared. Now we have already seen that this can either be expressed as descending powers of x or descending powers of y. Your first step, whenever you see that there are descending powers of x and you want to factorize the expression, your first step is to multiply these two, the extreme terms. Okay, the one with the highest powers. If you see, the highest powers are x square and y square, you multiply these two. Okay, so if you multiply these two, forget about the sign, only multiply the numbers. These are called the coefficients. Okay, so before I start with this, let me just uh, write this: 3x square minus 5xy minus 12y square. What are these called? This 3 is called the coefficient of x square. Minus 5 here is called the coefficient of xy. Okay, minus 5. And minus 12 is called the coefficient of y square. Okay, so what you do is, the highest powers of the variables here that you see, you multiply these two in order to factorize. So if you multiply these two, forget about the sign, simply multiply the numbers. You are getting 36. Now the point is that this 36 that you have got, you have to factorize 36 into two factors. You have to factorize 36 into two factors. Let us say this is factor 1 and this is factor 2. Okay, and you have the number 36. Okay.
Sir.
Now what is the first factor of 36? First is 1 into 36.
Sir.
Yes, tell me. Who asked? 1 into 36. Factor 1 is 1 and the second factor here is 36. Okay. Now we want to factorize in such a manner that by taking any of the signs 1 and 36, we must get a minus 5 here by adding the factors. So by adding 1 and 36, can you get minus 5? Not possible, right? So if I take minus 1 and plus 36, now if you add the 2, can you get minus 5? Is it possible to get minus 5? It is not possible, right?
Sir.
Now, instead of this, if I take plus 1 and minus 36 this time, try all the combinations, plus 1 and minus 36. Is it possible to get minus 5? It is not possible, right? Because minus 36 plus 1 will give you minus 35. So it is not possible. Let us take both negative signs, then what will happen? Minus 1 and minus 36. If you add, you will get minus 37. So in no way you are getting minus 5 here, right? So these two factors will not work. So what can be the other factors? The other factor is if you take 36, if you divide by 2, how much will you get? 18. So 2 into 18 is the other factor, right? So you are getting 2 and 18. Now, with these two factors, 2 and 18, if you add 2 and 18, can you get minus 5? You're getting 20, right? Now you try the other combination with the signs. You take minus 2 and plus 18. If you add plus 18 and minus 2, will you get minus 5? Still you are not getting. Now you try the other combination. Now you try with minus 2 and plus 18. Minus 2 and plus 18. If you add, will you get minus 5? You will not get. That means how much will you get? If you add minus 2 and 18, you're going to get plus 16, right? And if I make both negative, even then I'm not going to get minus 5. Minus 2 and minus 18. Even if I add them, I'm not going to get minus 5, right? So even this factor will not work. So that means we have to find some other factor. What is the other factor? 18 again.
Sir.
Yes, tell me.
Sir. Sir, I am asking that how can you classify that we have to first multiply and factorize, or we can directly factorize?
You can directly factorize if you are already in the if you already know the method, you can directly factorize. Okay, but people who don't know the method, they can start with this the way I'm explaining. Okay, now if you see, uh, 18 is here. 18 can be divided by 2. So what you do is you take 1 2 out and you multiply with this, you get 4 into 9 as the other factor, right? So what are the factors? You're getting 4 and 9, right? Now let's see, if you add 4 and 9, will you get minus 5? You will not get, you will get 13. Now if you take, uh, let's say minus 4 and plus 9, will you get minus 5? You're getting plus 5, right? So that will also
Yes, sir.
not work. Now if I take minus 9 and plus 4, will it work? Yes, now it will work, because minus 9 plus 4
Yes, sir.
will give us minus 5. So therefore we start with this 3x square minus 5xy minus 12y square. Okay, we start with this, and because I have got plus 4 and minus 9, I will break this middle term as, I write 3x square as it is, and because minus 5xy, because I have minus 5xy, I've got minus 9 and plus 4, I can write this as plus 4xy minus 9xy. See, I have broken this middle term into plus 4xy and minus 9xy. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I want to ask one thing.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, in exam we will do this sum, so sir, we will show the table.
You don't have to show, as I told you, if you have already into the practice of doing this, you don't have to show. Otherwise, if you're not into the practice, if you're learning for the first time, you can draw this table and do. Okay,
Okay, sir.
and then
Thank
minus
you.
12y
Sir,
square, you write it as it is. Yes, tell me.
sir, I have a question in profit and loss.
Not now, let me finish this. Okay, so this is what you will get. Okay, we have broken the 5xy as 4xy plus 4xy and minus 9xy. Okay, now what you do is you group these two together and take out the HCF. What is the HCF of these two? HCF of these two is x. If you take out x from these two, what are you left with? Here you are left with 3x, and here what are you left with? 4y, right? Minus. Now you group these two together. What is the HCF of these two? 3 is an HCF, and because I have y and y square, the lower power is y. So I take out y. So 3y is the HCF. And because I'm taking a negative sign outside this bracket here, there's whatever sign I give here, this minus sign will change to a plus sign. So from 9xy, if I divide 3y, how much am I going to get? 3x. And this plus sign is here because I have introduced this minus sign. And from 12y square, if you are taking out 3y, dividing by 3y, you'll get 4y. So now you see that you have got 3x plus 4y here. You have got 3x plus 4y here. Once you see that these two are the same, that means this factorization that you have done here is correct. Now what you do is you can take out 3x plus 4y. If you take out 3x plus 4y from this entire term, you're only left with x. If you take out 3x plus 4y from this entire term, you're only left with minus 3y. Is it clear? I'm asking especially the first timers. I'm asking especially the first timers. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We move on to the, so now that we understand this, we shall now solve some other problems. Okay. Okay. Look at this. 1 x square plus 3x plus 2. Now you see, first of all, I want to check whether these are descending powers of x or not. So what you see here is this can be written as x square plus 3x, and plus this is a constant, right? So constant, this you can write as 2 into x to the power of 0. So you see a power 2 here, you see a power 1 here, and you see a power 0 here. So 2, 1, and 0. Normally we don't write this step. This is only to show you, okay, that these are descending powers of x. So let's start once again. So once we know that this is descending powers of x, we can factorize this by middle term factorization or factorization of trinomials. In case of factorization of trinomials, what do you do? What is the coefficient of this here? 1. And this here is a constant term, right? So you multiply these two. If you multiply, how much are you going to get? You're going to get 2. Now 2 I need to split into two factors such that their sum is how much? Plus 3, right? So what is the first idea? 1 into 2 is a factor. So 1 and 2. Can you add them to get plus 3? Yes. If you have plus 1 and you have plus 2, you can add them to get plus 3. So what you do is you write x square as it is, and 3x you break this up as, because you have 1x here, you write x, and here you have 2x. So you break this up as x plus 2x plus 2. Now you group these two together and you group these two together. So from the first two, what is the HCF? HCF is x. So you take out the HCF x. If you take out x square, x from x square, you're left with x plus, and if you're taking out x from x, you're left with 1. Now look at these two. Plus HCF of 2x and 2 is simply 2. Now you, after taking out 2 from 2x, what are you left with? You're only left with x plus, because you have a plus sign, no need to change the sign here, sign will remain the same. And this is 2. If you're dividing, because you have taken out this 2, if you divide this 2 by 2, you get 1. Okay, x plus 1 into x plus 2. So this is, you have factorized this. So what are the factors here? X plus 1 is called a factor. X plus 1 is a factor of x square plus 3x plus 2. Also, x plus 2 is a factor of x square plus 3x plus 2. So you're getting two factors of this expression, x square plus 3x plus 2. Any question here till this part? I can continue then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Look at the next one. Z square plus 10z plus 24. You want to factorize this. Now clearly this is descending powers of z, because the first power is 2, the next power is 1, and the next power is 0. You don't need to write, you don't need to see anything. So this is a trinomial which can be factorized by middle term. Okay, so how will you factorize? Here you have the coefficient 1, you multiply these two. So 1 into 24. You will get 25.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I'm saying that in exams you will just shuffle all these sums together, or you will give
Circle all these
by
sums
grouping of
together means
terms, or you will just mix and give.
mix. I'll mix and give. You have to decide which method to use. Method will not be mentioned. Okay, you will have to decide. That is why in the beginning only I told you to decide which one is which can be done by trinomials, which can be done by difference of squares. You will have to decide all that. Okay, I will only give you factorize and I'll give you the expression. So 24 I have got. So 24 I need to factorize into two factors. So what are the factors? First factor is 1 into 24. So 1 and 24. Can you add 1 and 24 in any way to get plus 10? Is it possible? By any combination of signs, you take plus 1 plus 24, you will get 25. You take minus 1 and plus 24, you'll get 23. If you take plus 1 and minus 24, you will get minus 23, right?
1 minute on hai.
And minus 1 and minus 24 will give you minus 25, right? So therefore, there is no way that you can get this plus 10 from these two factors. So what are the next factors? Let me just write this afresh. Z square plus 10z plus 24. So what can be the next factor? You see 24 can be divided by 2. So you divide 24 by 2 and multiply it by 2. So you get 2 into 12 as the next factor. So what are the factors? 2 and 12. Is there any way that you can add 2 and 12 to get plus 10? Maybe, isn't it? If I take plus 12 and minus 2, and if I add them, will I get plus 10? Will I get? All of you can hear me or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
I will get plus 10. So what I do is z square I write as it is, and this 10z I break it up as minus 2z and plus 12z. So I write this as plus 12z minus 2z, and this plus 24 I write as it is.
But sir, when we will multiply them, then it will come minus 24, sir.
Let's see, we'll see what will happen. But till now we are getting okay, right? Now see what happens. Now if I group these two together, I will get z. HCF of z square and 12z is z. Then I will get z plus 12. And then I keep a minus sign outside, and 2z and 24 HCF is 2. And because I have kept a minus sign outside, this plus sign will change to a minus sign. So this will become 2z
Sir,
from
can
2z.
I leave for a minute?
I'm dividing by 2. So I'll get 24 by 2, which is minus 2.
Hello.
Now there is a problem here.
Sir, can I leave for a
Yes,
meeting?
yes. Now
And then
what is the
join?
problem here? What is the problem here? Z plus 12 I'm getting here. Z minus 12 I'm getting here. Right?
Excuse me, sir, can I leave and rejoin?
Yes. Z plus 12 you are getting here, and Z minus 12 you are getting. Okay, that is the problem. These two are not equal. That means this factor that I have got, minus 2z and 12z, this will not work. That means I have to find some other factor. Okay, so what I will do is I cannot break 10z as these two. So what I will do is I'll find some other factors. Okay, so 2 and 12 are the factor that I have found. This did not work. So now I'll find some other factors. What other factors? See, 12 I can divide by 2. So 1, 2, I multiply it with this. So I get 4 into 6. Right? So what are the factors? 4 and 6. Now, can you add 4 and 6 by any way to get 10? Yes. Plus 4 and plus
Yes,
6.
sir.
That means I have 4z and I have 6z. That means 10z I can split as 4z and 6z. So I can write this as z square plus 4z plus 6z plus 24. Now I can group the first two together. Z square and 4z HCF is z. From z square, if I divide by z, I'll get z plus, and 4z if I divide by z, I'll get z plus. HCF of 6z and 24 is 3. 6z if I divide by 3, sorry, HCF of 6z and 24 is 6, not 3. 6. So if I divide 6z by 6, I'm going to get z plus, because I have a plus sign here, so this sign will remain the same. Okay. So z plus, and 24 if I divide by 6, I'm going to get 4. Now you see, now my splitting is, now this the way I've split it 10z, this is correct. Okay, because I'm getting z plus 4 here, and I'm also getting z plus 4 here. So now what I can do is I can take z plus 4 out, and from this entire term, if I'm taking out z plus 4, I'm only left with z. So this plus sign comes here. And from this entire term, if I'm taking out z plus 4, I'm only left with this 6. So z plus 4 into z plus
So
6.
this will come in algebra.
Yes, in algebra. This is a part of your factorization chapter. Okay, I had left this
Okay,
so
sir.
that I could discuss this earlier. I've already done with you grouping of terms. I've already done factorization by difference of squares, right? and this is
Yes, sir.
factorization by middle term factorization or factorization of polynomials. This is the last thing that was left in your factorization chapter, which I'm covering now.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, how last the answer had come z plus 4, z plus 6?
How it had come z plus 4 and z plus 6. This is from grouping
Yes,
only.
sir.
See, yeah, what I had written here was z square plus 12z minus 2z plus 24. This is what I had written, right?
Yes, sir.
If I group these two together, what is the HCF of z square and 12z? What is the HCF? If you know your grouping of terms, you will be able to say z square and 12z. What is the HCF?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes,
Z, sir.
sir, z.
Z, Z,
z.
Z.
So z
Z.
is the HCF, so I take it out. Now from the first one, z square, if I'm taking out z, I need to divide this by z plus, and I have 12z. And because I have taken this z out, I need to divide this also by 12 by z, right? Minus
Yes, sir.
2z and 24. The HCF is 2. So now if I take out 2, what am I left with here?
Sir, z.
2z by 2. And because I have taken negative sign here, this plus sign will change to a negative sign.
Minus.
24 by 2. Now you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us do the next one. Y square minus 7y plus 12. Okay. You need to factorize this. Are these descending powers of y? Yes. You see a y square, you see a y to the power of 1, and you see a y to the power of 0. This is a constant term which you can write as y to the power of 12 into y to the power of 0 also, right? So which we don't normally show. We treat this as a constant term. So this can be factorized by middle term. Now, how do I factorize? You multiply, you have this coefficient as 1, coefficient of y square. You multiply these two. So 1 into 12 will give you 12. So now you need to break 12 into two factors. 12. And what are the factors? First 1 into 12. So what are the factors? 1 and 12 is the first factor. Can 1 and 12 give you minus 7 in any way?
No, sir.
It will not give you. Whatever sign you take, minus 1 plus 12 or plus 1 minus 12, it will not give you minus 7. So this is out. Okay. Next factor we find. What can be next factor? This you see a 12. 12 is divisible by 2. So you take 1, 2 out here and multiply it by, divide 12 by 6. So you get 2 into 6 as the other factor. So what are the factors? 2 and 6. Okay. So 2 and 6, can they give me 7 in any way?
No, sir.
They will not give me 7 in any way, right? Okay. So what is the next factor? 6 is divisible by 2. So 4 into 2, right? 4 into 2. Will it give me a
3.
6 in any way? Will it give me a 4 and 2? Oh, sorry. This is not
No, sir.
4 into 2. 4 into 2 are not the factors. Next factor can be,
So
it
2
is
into
divisible by,
3.
yes, 3,
No, not 2 into 3.
3
3
into
into
4.
4.
This is the next factor. So 3 and 4, right? So will it give me minus 7 in any way? Yes, it can. Because if I
Yes,
take
sir.
minus 3 and minus 4, then I will get a minus 3y here and I will get a minus 4y here, right? So what I do here is I break up 7y as minus 3y minus 4y plus 12. Okay. Now from the first two, I can take y common. HCF is y to get y minus 3. Is this step clear to everyone when I'm grouping? Because this I have
Yes,
explained much
sir.
earlier. Okay. Minus, now 4y and 12. The HCF is 4. And brackets. Because I have a negative sign here, this plus sign will change to a minus sign. And from 4y, if I am dividing by 4, I'm only left with a y. And 12, if I divide by 4, I left with a 3. So am I getting y minus 3 and y minus 3? Yes, I am getting. That means this breaking up that I have done here, this is correct. So therefore now I can write this as, I can take out y minus 3. And if I take out y minus 3 from this entire term, what am I left with? Only left with y. And from this entire term, if I'm taking out this y minus 3, I'm only left with a minus 4. So these two are the factors. All this cutting and all I
So
am
how
doing
-4? I think it's -3.
minus 4, because y minus 3 is already here, right? And here what do you have? You have y
Yes, sir.
minus 4. If you are
Yes.
in doubt, what you can do is you can multiply these two and check whether you are getting this. If you multiply, in order to check whether you have got the correct answer or not, you know how to multiply two algebraic expressions. So
Yes, sir.
y into y minus
Sir, your school will be
4y
open after Durga Puja.
minus 3y plus minus 3 into minus 4 will give you 12. So you're getting, see, you're getting y square minus 4y plus 12. Are you getting this or not?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes,
That
sir.
means our
That's
answer is
right.
correct. This answer is correct. Now all these, that cutting and all, you don't have to do. Okay, I'm only showing you because so that you understand. Understood? I don't want to see cutting and all that in your answer scripts. Yes. Who was asking what?